shit.
Can't do that one.
Damn. No, that's perfect.
Yeah.
That was better than
What it is, y'all. Next episode of the Speakin Heat podcast. We got my boy Jers in the building, AK off to the side, Buckley in the building.
What's up, y'all? What's up?
Always don't want to be on camera and shit. But we're gonna dive into a little bit of college football today. Not a whole lot going on because we got the playoff about to kick off here in a couple days.
The countdown has started. The countdown to college football playoffs.
For real, man. It's here. It's here. It's official, and we're gonna dive into the bracket. We filled out some brackets, and we're gonna reveal our brackets and talk about it a little bit. But really, the first thing we're gonna talk about is something we talked about last week, but we really didn't have a lot of info on what was going on, and now the details have come out. Sharon Moore. Now we see why he was fired in Michigan.
He is in a pickle.
Little bit. Like, golly. That, like...
Mental health is so important, even if you're making millions of dollars.
It's crazy, man. Just, I mean, where do you really start? I mean, had a side piece. Apparently got her pregnant.
Mm-hmm.
Threatened to kill himself. Threatened to kill his side piece.
Had, like, what do they call it? A mental episode or a psychotic episode?
Breakdown. Explosion, whatever you want to call it. Just
apparently all the shit hit the fan at one time and
just crazy, man. It's, seeing the details come out of that were actually pretty wild. Cause like when, they were saying, oh, he had a relationship with a staffer and then he gets arrested. That's what was like, what? Like, what's going on? Like, what? Like, that's not illegal. It's just morally wrong within the confines of the organization.
Did it say he was arrested or just
No,
fired?
he got arrested. They arrested him.
Yeah, it did say arrested and fired.
Like, he was fired, and then later they said that he was arrested from, I think it was the girl.
Third-degree home invasion.
Yeah.
Click on that. Let's read into it a little bit. Domestic relationship.
Yeah, I mean, home invasion, stalking in a domestic relationship, breaking and entering, $25,000 bond, like.
I mean, those charges are pretty serious. I feel like he could have done a lot worse. Like, there could have been...
There could have been bloodshed, to be real, with the details that came out. Now, you did say on the way here that he had a butter knife.
Yeah, that's what I heard. I heard he reached for a butter knife and he threatened to kill himself, though.
Like, apparently he had her and threatened to kill both of them. Because she was going to go down with him.
He said, I'm going to make you watch. My blood is on your hands. You ruined my life.
That's wild. Because apparently I heard that she outed it. They apparently broke up like that Monday. And he kept on and kept on. And so apparently she went to some authorities and that's kind of how it really like broke open. Cause they've been investigating this for a while now, apparently. But just, it's just crazy, man. This is some wildness. This is why you don't be doing too much. This is the definition of doing too much.
Yep.
Just,
no felonies though.
Oh, really?
No, it's all misdemeanors.
That's wild. That's wild.
Maybe the stalking, I don't know. I think stalking's a misdemeanor too.
Dude's got a lot. He's got a lot coming. He's got a lot
coming. Felony home invasion is the felony.
Yeah.
And 2 misdemeanors.
That's wild. That's crazy. Really, now, I mean...
We saw him get released with his wife and his baby.
Yeah, I guess she's staying strong with him, I guess, even through, like, obviously the cheating and the whole thing. Like, I mean, shoot.
They look like they had a young child, too.
I mean, shoot. I mean, if that's the case, then, I mean, I guess you could say she a good one, I guess. Shoot. I mean, if she gonna stay strong with him, at least for now or whatever, but... That's man, that's wild, man. That's a lot. That's a lot on his plate now, man. But really, it really turns to like, what does Michigan do now?
I don't know.
I mean, it's late. It's late for a coaching search, man.
I mean, they got Portnoy. He's on like the not treasury, but he's a big
donor, yeah.
And he's got all of the connections to finding different people and stuff. So, and Michigan's Michigan, so I don't think they'll have as hard of a time finding somebody. There's a lot of coaches that are looking for jobs.
I mean, when you really think about it, all the top candidates have already either have gone and talked already, and a lot of them have resigned. A lot of them have gone and
committed.
Yeah, went to other jobs and such. Like it's crazy. So I mean, they're kind of in a hard spot right now. Where they really look at and like really, what's their plan? Is their plan to go into next year with a full-time coach, or do they roll with a guy like Poggi who's there and just have him be like a 1-year interim and then wait till next year?
I don't know if they can do that with the transfer portal. If kids know that they're not going to have a good system to work in, they're not going to go there. They're going to find their
people are going to start leaving and such. It's crazy. It's crazy, man. But just crazy news over the last week as the details kind of came out and really with what really happened. So wild news. But really what this show's about is the college football playoff, man. We went over the rankings last weekend and kind of looked at the bracket, but we're going to dive in here to our actual brackets here. And as we see here, we're looking at Jersey right now and his picks for the playoff. Break it down. What you got? What was you thinking going into this?
We always talk about our opinions and stuff, and for the most part, me and him agree on most things. But that Alabama-Oklahoma side of the board is a toss-up to me. I got Oklahoma being the Oklahoma they have been all year. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe they can make a run after Indiana, Oklahoma, I don't know. Indiana is going to move on. I got them moving on. Bottom half, I got Oregon going on to Texas, which is pretty obvious there. Texas Tech versus Oregon. I have Oregon making the deepest run out of everybody. So Oregon against Indiana. Oregon's going to take that to play Georgia. The UMass side, University of Miami versus Texas A&M side. I said this last week, I just want to see a matchup against Georgia versus Miami, but then I thought about it. If they do get on to play Ohio State, they're not going to beat Ohio State. Ohio State's just a dominant team. And then I think Georgia versus Ohio State, Georgia pulls it off. Late fourth quarter game, Georgia's got that dog in them. Then Georgia's going to be our champion. Pretty simple as that. It's pretty simple.
Interesting. Like whenever we were talking about this, when we first were looking at the bracket, like you have in Miami, no, I wouldn't say making a run, but I mean winning a playoff game and moving on. Mm-hmm. Very interesting. I mean, we'll see here in a second. But I also have Georgia as my champion. I feel like when I was doing my bracket, like one of the hardest ones was Ohio State and Georgia. That one really just like. I just didn't really know which way to really lean. Like the semifinals, I think, are extremely tough. Because really, when you think about it, there's not really one team that's like by far like, oh, this team's just going to run the table and go through everybody. Like everyone seems like they're good enough to beat each other. So it's like I feel like these are going to be very, very close games regardless of who plays in them. But interesting to see that you got Oregon going that deep. What makes you push them over Texas Tech? Because I've actually seen a lot of people have Texas Tech beating Oregon.
Just them in the organization they've been all for the past couple of years now. I mean, they've been a good, solid playoff team for what, 4 or 5 years now?
Yeah, like contenders for sure. Really, over the last decade, other than a couple years, like they've been right in that top 10, really trying to make a push.
Texas Tech, I could say the same for them, not necessarily as a playoff team, but as an organization that is good.
They got the money. And they got the money.
The way they're playing this year, yep. That's probably going to be one of the closest games. I don't know. There's going to be a lot of close games. These are all really. I think the committee actually did a good job. When I finally take a look at the bracket being filled out all the way and potential winners of games, I think they did the right thing. I think A&M should have been a little higher.
I agree. I do agree with that.
But
for sure.
Oregon probably should have flipped with A&M. I think that would have been a little bit more reasonable. Maybe Ole Miss. Those three teams were a toss-up. I don't really think Who was the first teams out? Texas and Notre Dame?
BYU, Notre Dame, I think were the no. Yeah, you're right. You're right. I think it was.
And putting those two teams in any one of these slots, I don't really think it makes a difference. I think the committee did the right thing. Maybe Ole Miss should not have been in there, but we'll see against Tulane how good they are. But I think this is a pretty good bracket. We're going to have pretty good games this year.
Interesting. Interesting to see how your bracket filled out here. We'll take a look here at mine. And so obviously I've got Oregon and Georgia making those runs to the national championship. Not a whole lot of surprises here, in my opinion. I do think in that first round, obviously your Ole Misses and your Oregons, they're going to advance. Mm-hmm. But we've got Alabama and Oklahoma rematch. This is actually going to be Friday, so this might be, who's ever watching this when this first comes out, this probably is going to be the day of that game. But
I guess game day's not going there.
Yeah, Friday. That's right. It's Friday night, so I mean, interesting that this game's going to be in Norman. So remember, this is going to be a rematch. Oklahoma beat Alabama.
By 3 points, was it?
Yeah,
it was
they
real
went
good game.
into Tuscaloosa and beat the Tide.
It was a real good game.
Really was. Oklahoma's defense is ridiculous. Their defense is absolutely phenomenal. I think Alabama does get their revenge here. I just don't think Oklahoma's offense is very good. I don't think that I don't want to say they can't win a playoff game in this bracket here, but other than against JMU or Tulane, I really don't see Oklahoma favored in any of these games because their offense just does not put up enough production to really put confidence in picking them in these games. Alabama is a very, very good team. I think they do move on Friday.
Like you always say, it's very hard to beat a good team twice.
It is.
And the numbers advantage probably does go to Alabama, but I don't know. We'll see. It's a real close game.
One of the things that I was talking about last week, maybe the best game of the bracket, or at least the first round for sure, I think Miami at Texas A&M. I think this is a great matchup. I really like this matchup. Mm-hmm. Obviously, I've got Texas A&M moving on. I think this is going to be a great game. If this was played at a neutral site, I think I might actually go Miami. But I do think just playing at Kyle Field, imposing atmosphere, I think, big game. Playing at home, I could easily see this Texas A&M defense causing Carson Beck to turn the football over, and they get a win here.
Which he's done. He's got to play. He's got to be a top 5 quarterback. If he's in these playoffs, he has to play like a top 5 quarterback.
If he plays like the way he's played the last couple of weeks, I think that Miami's going to be a tough out. Obviously, Ole Miss moves on. Oregon moves on. Sammy's. I like the matchups here. I think Georgia moves on. I think they get the rematch. They win again.
Yeah, I think that rematch is going to be nowhere near like the first game.
Really? I think this is going to be a back and forth battle again. Maybe lower scoring, but
I see Georgia winning by 10.
I mean, yeah, I could easily see that. I do think that Georgia has really hit their stride.
Their defense is locked in.
Their defense has played better. Great job by Kirby Smart getting this defense ready because they're peaking at the right time. Great game. I think, when it comes down to personnel versus personnel, Texas A&M and Ohio State may be the best talent composite matchup in this entire playoff. The players on the field, they may have this game right here may have the most NFL future players in this game by far. This is going to be an incredible matchup. I can't remember where this is going to be played. It's going to be at a neutral site bowl game. But I can't wait to see that game. That would be an absolute phenomenal game. I honestly was very tempted to pick Texas A&M to beat Ohio State. I think Ohio State's defense is that good though, and so I've got them moving on to the semis. Obviously Georgia moves on. I've got Indiana beating Alabama, and the reason is because Indiana's defense is really, really good, and I think Alabama not being able to run the football, I think...
Or catch the ball.
Or catch the ball.
The last couple of weeks, it's been awful.
Yeah, that is very, very true. Ty Simpson's been a little off, but then also the receiving core's not helping at all.
I wouldn't even blame him. It's hard for me to blame Ty. I mean, he's getting the ball to the plate receiver's hands, a little behind maybe, a little in front, but...
Yeah,
these are 5-star receivers. that have talked shit all year about how good they are.
And Ryan Williams is an absolute stud, and he's not playing that great right now. He's very hot and cold. So I think
he
that's
missed some
part of
time
it.
this year too, didn't he?
He missed a couple games from a concussion, I think.
Yeah.
But I think that's part of why Indiana moves on. Indiana is a complete football team, in my opinion. They're a very, very good team. So I think they do move on against Bama. And then Oregon and Texas Tech, I think, is actually very intriguing because seeing Texas Tech, they've got the highest payroll in the country when it comes to the players and what they're making. I think this is a good matchup. I think Texas Tech has got one of the best defenses and defensive fronts in the entire country. I would say, unlike past years, I think offensively, this is where I think Oregon's defense is going to play well. And I think they kind of slow down this offense for Texas Tech. This isn't the old Texas Tech offense. This is not Cliff Kingsbury and crew. This is not Patrick Mahomes and crew. This is a different offense, and I don't think they're quite as explosive.
It's a different game too.
Yeah, it is.
An elimination game.
It is. This is a big game, biggest
When's the last
game.
time they've been involved in the playoffs?
I mean, they've never been involved in the playoffs.
It's pretty new, yeah.
This is the biggest game in the history of the school. So
Wow.
I think Oregon lives up to the moment, and I think that they go and they get a win here. I think Oregon's defense is going to be what it is that pushes them over the top. And then we got the semis here.
I think this semis on Oregon versus Indiana, oh my gosh. That's the biggest toss-up match.
Rematch.
It's going to be such a toss-up.
Like I said.
But like you said about experience and playoff experience, I mean, Oregon's got that advantage. They've been there. Players on that team have been there.
Yeah, I mean they've been there. They've been tested. And it's hard to beat a tough team twice. That's what I always say. It's hard to beat a tough team twice. Now, remember, Indiana beat Oregon in Oregon's house, and that is big. That is big. So
Georgia beat Ole Miss at Sanford, right?
Yeah.
I mean, so that's.
I think looking at this game, I really see.
I see a lot of rematches from this year, honestly. A lot
potentially.
Potential rematches, yeah.
Yeah. I like the reason I like Oregon in this rematch is obviously, like I say, it's hard to beat a tough team twice. And I think you learn a lot from when you lose. And I think Oregon kind of hit their stride at the end of the year. But so did Indiana. Indiana's also peaking because they're playing the best football they have all year. They're complete. I think that Dan Lanning is going to be able to pull something out of this Oregon team, and I think they go get a win here.
It's kind of like Ohio State. Like, they didn't have the best schedule.
Yeah.
But you have to give them credit for being there and winning games. Having 5 games to play is going to be tough.
It is.
Or 4 games in a row to play is going to be tough. It's going to be straining. It's going to hurt the team. But they've been there before.
And then we got Georgia and Ohio State. The pads are going to be popping in this game.
Georgia's defense versus Ohio State's offense.
Maybe the most physical matchup of the whole playoff right here.
Yep.
Incredible matchup here. I think Georgia moves on. The reason I do, and this is the thing that's the only thing that I've really been critical of Ohio State, especially later in the year.
They didn't really score that much.
No.
They don't score that much.
The thing with Ohio State is that they weren't tested mainly all year. Then they play the best team they've played all year. Now, it is Indiana. I get it. Maybe the best team in the country. But you go and you play Indiana, and Julian Sayin really did not play great. He played okay at times, but he really did not play that great. Indiana's defense was really able to go and affect him a lot in this game. And I think because the athletes and the studs on this Georgia defense, even though the Georgia's defense did not start off the year great, they got better and better, and they're peaking right now.
And even their second string is going to come in there and crack necks. I mean, their whole team is ready for war.
I see just the pure athleticism of this Georgia defense is going to give Ohio State fits. I think they will. And I think it's going to put pressure on Sayin. And I think that there's a good chance that it disrupts him in this rhythm of this offense. And I think that's what helps move them on is really the Georgia defense here and just the athletes on that football team. And then here, a rematch from a couple years ago in one of the openers from a couple years ago, Oregon and Georgia.
I remember that game. It was a good game.
Oh, it was a slaughtering. Bo Nix, That crew, I think it was like 42-7 or something. Oregon got
in the
smacked.
first game.
Yeah, Oregon got absolutely smacked. So those players
Stetson?
yes, that was with Stetson. Those players aren't on this team anymore, but I'm sure that's still going to be a part of the motivation here. Is the last time you played them, they beat you by like 40. So I think, and also Dan Lanning is a former assistant under Kirby Smart. And so it's like Dan Lanning is playing his old team and Kirby's playing his protege. So I see this being actually a decently close game. I do think just the overall athletes and the physicality that Georgia brings here, I think is going to be what wins in this game. I see Gunner throughout these playoffs. I think he'll play well.
He can learn to slide a little bit during these playoffs because we don't need him healthy.
Oh my gosh, he needs to slide because it takes one hit and it will derail this whole thing for them. So I got Georgia winning it all. That's just kind of what I see here. I really like this bracket.
What do you think about the potential of two Texas teams playing in the national championship?
Oh, I think that would be kind of cool, actually. I think
and they would play in Miami, which would be even crazier.
That would be crazy.
Two Texas teams playing in Miami.
Yeah, I know, right? Like something I was like when I was really looking at the bracket, I'm like, imagine this bracket if they just took JMU and Tulane out, and they put Texas at the 12 spot against Oregon, and they put Notre Dame to play Ole Miss.
I mean,
insane. I was just looking at that. I'm like, I would love to see those teams in versus these teams. I think that would be amazing.
This is going to be a defining year about if these teams actually do anything in these games. Even the slightest bit of like
just competing and staying in it. What do you think happens in these games?
Blowouts, 20 plus each game.
Oh, 100%. I think JMU absolutely gets smacked.
I think JMU first quarter. I don't know. Oregon hasn't really showed much of their playbook this year. They're probably saving a lot of their stuff for the playoffs. But JMU, I think, has the best chance rather than Tulane over Ole Miss.
I think Tulane and Ole Miss could be a game for a quarter and a half. Reason, again.
No head coach.
You play the team again. Ole Miss beat Tulane in the regular season. But you play the same team again. So there's going to be a level of, familiarity with the preparation in the game.
Oh, and they've also played Georgia.
And I think that Tulane, they're going to be, they're going to go in this playoff with a chip on their shoulder that we can compete, and we're going to play Ole Miss again. So I could see the fight here. But I feel like JMU and Oregon, I think JMU gets absolutely slaughtered.
Probably.
I wouldn't be surprised if it's a 30-point blowout on either side, to be real. I think these games are going to be not bad games, but I just think, when it comes down to it, I think they're just going to get completely outmatched.
On Friday?
That is actually a great question.
Do they do 2 and 2, or do they do like once every? They would do on Monday, Tuesday, or Friday, Saturday, Sunday?
That's
Monday?
A good question. That is a good question. I've not even looked at the schedule.
They might play on a Thursday. They might play tonight. No, probably not.
But interesting. I like these brackets. This is interesting. I really like this. I think this playoff bracket is better than last year's by far.
Yep.
I really like this. We got some new kids on the block. We got some blue bloods. But I feel like a lot of these teams are going to compete with each other. So I really, really like this. That's pretty much it, man.
It's crazy how many potential rematches we will have.
Yeah, it's very, very interesting. There's not too bad, and I don't mind it because it's the best teams in the country.
The games that
great football
were good football games.
Yeah,
so
excited. Really, 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 really enjoyed doing these brackets, man. Wild and interesting, and I guess we'll be on here next week because this upcoming weekend obviously is the first round, but next week we're gonna start hitting semis, and next week is Christmas, so early Merry Christmas, everybody out there watching. But
ho holidays.
Woo.